Imagine applying for a job, getting hired, then getting paid to do nothing. That's exactly the gig the state gave hundreds of Californians, and you paid for it. Well, we all did, with our taxes. Consumer investigator Chmura is here with more troubling findings inside the state unemployment office.
Good evening. The Employment Development Department just paused new unemployment applications to reset and address a backlog of 600,000 claims. But that's not the only misstep that triggered this sudden pause. A governor's strike team found state workers who walked away from their phones, who ignored important mail. And yes, hundreds more state workers hired and paid to do absolutely nothing. As businesses closed in March and April, laid-off workers could not reach the EDD to file for unemployment benefits.
300 calls just to get through to someone on the other line.
People are rightfully frustrated.
Governor Newsom said in early May his office responded with a heroic effort.
We moved 1,340 new people to work the phones.
But throughout the summer, people still couldn't get paid. Now we know why. This new review found many of EDD's new hires lacked the training to actually help laid-off workers over the phone. Those operators only resolved 1.4% of people's calls. The report is blistering.
Hiring more staff that cannot handle the actual reasons people are calling will improve the calls answered statistic, but will have no impact on resolving issues with claims.
Some existing staffers were even less helpful. When EDD employees at one call center started working from home, the report says
they stopped answering the phones.
There's more. The strike team says EDD hired 515 new workers to do recomputation work in the background. But because so few claims are getting through and so few EDD workers have adequate training,
there's no work for the 515 new recomputation employees to complete.
How does hiring new state workers to do nothing help people get their unemployment benefits?
Makes no sense to me at all.
Assemblymember Rudy Salas sits on the Joint Legislative Audit Committee. He's called for another, deeper audit of EDD operations.
We need to make sure that we're not only identifying those problems, but fixing it. And we need some transparency. We need some accountability.
We asked EDD how much it's paying those 515 workers, but didn't get a response. It's likely at least $3,000 a month. That's the salary posted for the lowest paid position currently available, handling unemployment claims. And none of that appears to address ongoing fraud.
1, 2, 3.
Recently, viewers all over the state showed us how EDD sent them stacks.
There's 83
of unexpected envelopes addressed to strangers, some with benefit debit cards inside.
I shouldn't just have these in my house.
The envelopes are suspected to be organized ID theft, exploiting a weakness in EDD's antiquated systems. Homes aren't the only place EDD mail is piling up. The report says its auditors visited EDD offices. And
in every office, we saw significant unopened mail.
That's a huge red flag, because many people who apply online are then required to mail documents like pay stubs to EDD before they can collect benefits. Other workers, including veterans who recently left the military, are required to apply on paper forms. If they aren't answering the phone or opening the mail, what are they doing at EDD?
That's exactly why we need an independent state audit, is to look at some of the things that were identified. If people aren't answering the phones and that's your job, what's going on there?
The EDD says it's implementing reforms during its 2-week reset. We're monitoring that. Assemblymember Salas is getting his wish for another audit. He says the state auditor is conducting a review of EDD operations. No word on the timeline. You can help the state auditor. If you know about problems inside EDD, you can call the whistleblower hotline. The number is right there on your screen, 800-952-5665. Or you can call us. The number is 888-996-TIPS, because we will continue to hold EDD accountable.